What's good, family? Welcome back to the channel. In this video right here, we have Diddy's ex-bodyguard exposes him for putting a hit on Biggie Smalls. So I really want to see what type of evidence they bring to the table in this video right here to make the allegation that he is responsible for Biggie Smalls' death, okay? But one thing that we do know, especially if you have seen other videos that I reacted to, is that sacrifices do happen within the hip-hop industry and the music industry and the entertainment industry. Like Kanye West has come out and said that his mom was a sacrifice. He literally said that on video. You can check that out. I reacted to it. Or even when Kevin Gates was talking to this witch, they were literally talking about during their rituals to get higher rank, they make sacrifices. So sacrificing is nothing new to the industry. But in this video, we're just going to watch and see if we come to the conclusion that Diddy actually is responsible for Biggie Smalls' death, okay? So I'm not saying that it's a complete fact. We're just gonna watch this video, react to it, and see what's going on, all right?
I was offered $30,000 to perform a hit on Biggie Smalls. March 1st of 1997, I was approached by Diddy to perform a hit on one of his artists. Finding out that he wanted all the rights to all his catalogs.
Okay, if there's one thing we can all agree on, the one person who has benefited the most in terms of getting the bag from Biggie Smalls' death is P. Diddy. And allegedly, he did have something to do with Biggie getting eliminated. And people have been saying that for decades. But what exactly are the new receipts? And what directly links Diddy to the death of Biggie? The first time Diddy and Biggie linked up was in 1992 when Diddy arranged to meet the then up-and-coming rapper after seeing a feature of him in a magazine. And after that meeting, Biggie was signed to Diddy's label, Bad Boy Entertainment, upon its launch in 1993 and dropped his debut album, Ready to Die, in 1994. However, that was the only album he released before he passed away. And people have been suggesting that Diddy is the one who put the hit out on Biggie. One of the people who opened up about the connection is Diddy's ex-bodyguard, who goes by the name of Uncle Ron.
Jay-Z and Puffy wanted Biggie. Bottom line, you don't have to believe me, believe the facts. Here's a man that wanted to leave Bad Boy. He wanted to do his own thing.
Oh, man.
He mentioned several times how he was tired of being used and abused. That he was bigger than Bad Boy itself.
Ron also had a little bit more intel about why...
I'm not going to stop the video too much, but this is actually a reoccurring thing where people in the industry are taking out their competition by death. We did watch another video about Aaliyah's death, and like, Aaliyah was like a top-notch artist. I've been reading y'all comments on that video, and y'all were talking about Aaliyah at the time. She was like at the top, you know what I'm saying? And it just so happened that Aaliyah had died at the beginning of Beyonce's, of her career as a single artist, as a solo artist. And y'all were saying, and the video was saying that she was struggling. So now when it comes to Biggie, he wants to start his own thing. He wants to start his own record label and no longer be under Diddy. He dies. And it seems as if Diddy now owns all of the rights to Biggie Smalls' music. I just find that crazy.
Jay-Z specifically wanted to get Biggie out of the way.
Jay-Z wanted him out of the industry, period, so he could take over and be the biggest hip-hop artist around.
Wow.
And I wonder who's the biggest hip-hop artist today. It's all business, folks. And unfortunately, you as a fan, most of you won't understand.
Okay, I personally haven't dug up much when it comes to Jay-Z's connection to Biggie's death, so I can't say for certain that he was involved, but when it comes to Diddy, the receipts don't lie, love. And guess what? Uncle Ron wasn't the only bodyguard who suggested that Diddy possibly had something to do with Biggie's death. Another bodyguard who did a lot of spilling was Gene Deal. As part of Diddy's security team, Deal witnessed Big's takeout back in 1997, and lived through the infamous East versus West drama. So if there's anyone who's got tea on what really went down, it's him. He claimed that Biggie planned to leave Bad Boy Records behind for a better deal elsewhere. And I'm talking a lucrative deal worth more than $60 million, y'all.
Wow.
So he showed me, I said, you about to get that money? He said, yeah, look at this. It had Charlie Baltimore, Cameron, Little C's, Little Kim, Junior Mafia, Tracy, I don't know, Tracy Murray,
Tracy Lee,
and the commission. And I think the contract was for so many years for like 62 million. It comes out to like $62 million.
And according to Gene, Biggie actually planned to keep Lil Kim under his wing and would have taken her along with him to the next label. So Biggie was planning to leave Bad Boy and Diddy had that information. That looked like motive to me. And several other people also saw the motive, like DMX, who agreed that if there's one thing Diddy did, it's that he totally took advantage of Biggie.
And it was a blessing and a curse because they were sure they were happy to get signed first, and they were on the Benjamin and shit was going, but they made him jiggy and put him in suits and made them write lyrics for him and took all that publishing and worked them.
Wow. You cannot disregard what the artists. This is the thing. You gotta realize that the people talking that are in the industry, talking about the industry, they have the most information about it. So when you have someone like DMX, that after his career, he ended up actually coming to Jesus and actually talking about it. But you have him coming out also saying how he was raped. And now this is a thing that goes on within the industry. I'm not just the only one saying this. This is what happens when you are signing these record deals. They are demons. That's a part of you selling your soul. Selling your soul can also be you just going completely against your morals, going against your conscience. You know, like, that's not right. You feel what I'm saying? So let's run that back one more time. This is actually some cool new information that I'm coming across. This is some new content right here. This is Puff signed him. It was a blessing and a curse. They had him signed first. They were going to the Benjamins.
And it was a blessing and a curse because they were sure they were happy to get signed first, and they were on the Benjamin and shit was going. But they made him jiggy and put him in suits.
And
made them write lyrics for him.
Took all the publishing.
Took all that publishing.
As for 50 Cent, even he didn't say that Diddy was directly involved, but he did say that Diddy definitely knows who pulled the trigger on Biggie in his song Hip Hop. On the track, 50 Cent raps, "Who shot Biggie Smalls? If we don't get them, they gonna Saw. Man, Puffy know who hit that man. He scared them boys from the west side, gonna break him off." Other than 50 Cent, former Bad Boy artist Mace also released a song titled Oracle 2, Standing on Bodies. And it included blatant shots at Diddy in relation to Biggie. He was like, representing every artist that was left behind, from Craig Mack to G-Dep. "I still remember them kids trampled. For every producer you ever stole their sample." He was actually referring to the infamous 1991 City College incident in which 9 people were trampled at a celebrity basketball game promoted by Diddy. But he didn't stop there. Mace went on to rap about Diddy using the death of Biggie Smalls as a marketing ploy and for not properly compensating Biggie. Speaking of Biggie's mother, Valletta Wallace actually once discussed how much money Biggie received when he signed on with the label. She wrote about it in her 2005 book, Biggie. Valletta Wallace remembers her son, Christopher. And based on what she wrote, she clearly didn't trust that Diddy had her son's best interest at heart. She wrote, "The truth is, Christopher accepted the illusion of a friend and mentor for about $25,000. That's the amount Puffy lured my son with. That was a lot of money for Christopher back then as a 19-year-old.
Yeah,
he had never seen that much at one time in his life. It was enough money to make my son believe that Puffy was ready to do anything for him."
That's a fact. Yo, like, even like, this is like 1980s, 1990s. $25,000 for a 19-year-old is like a freaking chest of treasure.
It was enough to buy a blind love and loyalty. Well, fans certainly agree that Diddy has done a lot of profiting from Biggie's death. Like one person who wrote on Twitter, P. Diddy made more money by using Biggie's death than what Biggie made while he was alive. There was an album that was supposed to be released months after Biggie's death, and it would end the contract between Biggie and Bad Boy. Guess what? The album was not released. You know what? I'm gonna give this whole situation the benefit of doubt, because there are people who have also said that Diddy did not participate in Biggie's death. Like one person who said that Diddy would never do anything to hurt Biggie is Big's former wife, Faith Evans. She said during an interview with Hollywood Unlocked Uncensored,
"It's what I know is that Puff would never have Big. Puff would never be involved in one of his best friends. That's outside of him being his artist. You know what I'm saying?
She also added that their relationship was special, and even she never had such a tight relationship with Diddy. And according to Faith, there was no way anyone could even remotely piece the puzzle of Big's untimely death together with that conspiracy. Retired LAPD detective Greg Kading, who led the task force that investigated the more than 2-decade-old incident, revealed his findings in a documentary called Rap and pinned Biggie's death on someone else. He claimed that Diddy hired Crips gang member Dwayne Keith Kepi D. Davis to pop Tupac Shakur and his manager Suge Knight for $1 million.
Wait.
He claimed that Diddy hired Crips gang member Dwayne Keith Kepi D. Davis to pop Tupac Shakur and his manager Suge Knight for $1 million. However, on that fateful night, Kepi D's nephew Orlando Baby Lane Anderson pulled the trigger and only Tupac passed away. According to Kading, Suge Knight hired Blood gang member Wardell Poochie Foos to get rid of Biggie Smalls for $13,000 in retaliation for Pac's death. That is not a lot of money, but I'ma let you cook, Suge.
That's
so
nothing,
Diddy
bro.
may or may not have had a hand in Biggie's passing. And as for what he personally said, back in 2017, Diddy admitted on the Wendy Williams show that he sort of felt responsible for Biggie's death, saying,
I think I always feel some sort of, responsibility because I'm in this thing with him, you know what I'm saying? He's my artist, and he was supposed to go to London that night, and, I let him talk me into, not going to London and staying in LA, and that's something that really bothered me, throughout my life, and sometimes you have to really go with that decision in your gut. And in my gut, I was like, you need to get on the plane. But sometimes when you don't listen to your gut, and this is God's world, it's his plan.
Yeah.
But honestly, that's one of the things I regret, not making sure that he went to London.
well, according to Diddy,
One thing's gonna be very, very hard for me to do is believe the words that Diddy's speaking, just for the fact that so many people have come out talking about who his actual character is. You feel what I'm saying? Especially the fact that DMX had mentioned that he had. Like, DMX said that, yeah. DMX was one of the biggest artists, like, for real.
Diddy's ex-bodyguard, Uncle Ron, Diddy probably felt responsible because he was responsible.
I turned him down because I also found out that very night that Biggie had plans of leaving Bad Boy. Biggie should have never been in California to promote an album.
According to Uncle Ron, Diddy has always been pure evil. But you know what? I'd like to know what you think. Do you believe that Diddy actually had a hand in Biggie's death? As always, let me hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you thought this video was messy, just wait until you see this next.
Facts, y'all. What do y'all think? Is the mathing right now? Is the things aligning right now? Was there enough evidence brought in this video for us to say, for you to say, that Diddy is responsible for Biggie Smalls' death? Especially with the fact that Biggie Smalls wanted to leave the record label that Diddy had him under, which Diddy owned, and which Diddy was making money off of. He happens to die. What do y'all think? Comment down below. I'm going to catch you guys in the next video the same way you're going to catch me in the next video. Make sure you do like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Peace. Love y'all.